Charles, thoughts?
Obama, the bystander again. Here are the Egyptians in the millions out on the street trying to bring down an Islamist government, increasingly dictatorial, increasingly intolerant, arresting journalists and judges, trying to Islamicize the military, and the people are saying no. And what does the President of the United States do? He takes a position of studied neutrality. He says he's not supporting either side. And yet, as you pointed out in the Mubarak revolution, he obviously he took the side of the people. He demanded that Mubarak had to go. He was not neutral. This reminds me of the Green Revolution in Iran in 2009, where the same thing happened. Islamist, a dictatorial government, the people out in the street, and they were shouting, Obama, Obama, are you with us or against us? And he took a position that was essentially support of the regime. And the reason was he wanted to negotiate a nuclear deal, which he thought he could do, and he didn't want instability. That was a shameful episode. But there's also the idea of the national interest. Mubarak was pro-American. He was an ally of ours. He helped us in all kinds of ways, and Obama worked against him. Morsi represents a movement which is essentially and at heart deeply anti-American and deeply anti-democratic, and yet he's neutral on this. This is a shocking position for a president to take.
Well, let me play devil's advocate. Morsi was duly elected by that country. He was not a dictator. He may be turning into one, but he was not one, as they elected him 1 year ago this past weekend.
We have a long history of dictatorial parties that get elected and then end elections. You had Putin in Russia. Hitler is the greatest example, of course. Chavez, the Sandinistas. The list of these is long. The Brotherhood is not a democratic party. It's not the British Labour. It's not the Democratic Party of America. It's a movement that has an ideology. Its allegiance is Islam. And it was, in the short year it was in office, it rammed through a very Islamist extreme constitution with no compromise with anybody and was ruling dictatorially. I think for a president to pretend if you're elected once, you've got the protection and support of the United States is a complete misunderstanding of what legitimacy is.
Mark.